Welcome back to the GSMC Golf Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. We are in our fifth and final segment of the show tonight, talking about the U.S. Open, as we have the third out of four majors on the year looming over us going into this weekend. It is the U.S. Open. It's going to be a very, very exciting one here at the number 2 U.S. Pinehurst in North Carolina. First and foremost, the number one thing I want to talk about is how fast these greens are. I saw a few clips of kind of guys warming up, just throwing a ball onto the green, seeing how it falls. And I saw one, I think it was on the par 5 fifth hole. A guy threw a ball, and this was a viral clip, so probably most of you saw it. He threw a ball onto the green, and it rolled up, and it just sprinted backwards back at him, and it fell into the sand right behind him. And man, that would be brutal. It looks like it's going to be such a difficult course, and from what happened at Valhalla and all the people talking about how bad the PGA Championship was because of how high the scoring was, this is going to be one for a lot of those guys to watch, because it seems like it's going to be a very fun and entertaining tournament at the US Open this year. The first big news that I want to talk about is Jon Rahm withdraws from the U.S. Open. I just found this out as I talked in the fourth segment about me not knowing what happened with him. It's a lingering foot issue that caused him to withdraw from Houston, and now he is going to continue to let the foot rest as he withdraws from the 2024 U.S. Open. He probably wasn't a contender to win. He has been playing some pretty playing some pretty bad golf when he comes and plays the majors. It seems like he's a little shaken up. Of course, this is all speculation, but he left on bad terms with some of the players going to LIV Golf Tour, as everybody does. But it seems like it's been hard for him kind of adjusting to LIV Golf over PGA Tour, because I mean, he made the decision, and he was very open about it. He made the decision for his family and to do it because it's a lot of money for his family. I mean, this is generational wealth. I think it was $150 million that he got to go over to LIV Golf Tour. That's generational wealth. So he does it for his family, but I mean, at what cost? He isn't too happy on the LIV Tour. I think it is very clear about that. But for him, we'll see if he can get healthy going into the Open Championship in England or in the UK. I believe that will be in August, if I'm not mistaken, or that'll be in July. So that will be the fourth and final major of this year, seeing if he can get back on track, because he won the Masters last year, and he was at times last year the official world golfer number 1 over Scottie Scheffler, and having a good year last year. But it's been unfortunate for him whenever he does show face on the at the major courses. At the Masters, he didn't have a good performance. At the PGA Championship, he had a pretty bad performance. So we'll see what he can do when he comes back in a month, if he does come back in a month. That's the first thing. Another thing is, this happens every single major cycle, and I'm just going to say it right now because I have to talk about it. It's Tiger Woods. Can he compete? He can't. I'm going to say it right now. Until this guy makes a cut, I'm worried, and I'm not going to be confident in his ability to go out there and win a tournament. He is saying, of course, I mean, every week leading up to a major, it's Tiger Woods is saying that he feels great and he can go out and compete. I mean, that's all we see, like, time after time. Tiger Woods has strength to win U.S. Open. Tiger Woods 2024 U.S. Open press conference is just what the news is when you look up U.S. Open news, and it's unfortunate. We should be talking about Scottie Scheffler, and I mean, it's Tiger Woods, biggest name in golf of all time, so we talk about him, and it's warranted to a point. But let's talk about Scottie Scheffler here, the guy that really does have the best of odds to win this one. But for Tiger Woods, of course, he believes that he can win this one. I just don't have faith in him going out and winning a golf tournament anytime soon, so I'm a little bit out on him. And then another big news from the U.S. Open, Rory McIlroy calls off his divorce before the U.S. Open. As it was quoted, they resolved their differences, which is great for him. I mean, happy to see that family back together. Of course, they do have a kid, or I believe they have 2 kids. I know they have at least one. So for them to be back together, that's really good for Rory McIlroy. Hopefully, you don't believe that too much of these personal issues affect their golf game, but of course they definitely can, and they definitely probably do. So for him, we'll see how he plays going into this U.S. Open. Now back with his wife could be very good thing for him, as it was just a month ago that we were talking about how they got a divorce, and that came out of nowhere, and it was a shock to everybody. So good for Rory McIlroy. That was one of the bigger news that came out leading up to this U.S. Open for him. Of course, official world golfer number 3. But talking about the official world golfer number 2, Xander Schauffele, he had a good weekend at the Memorial. Although he finished only 1 under, he was in contention for a lot of it. Going into this U.S. Open, it's going to be interesting to see how he can bounce back, and if he is able to compete and is able to win his second major of the year. He wins his first major of his career at Valhalla at the PGA Championship. Now he has a chance to win 2 in 1 year. So a lot of names can win, can kind of make history here. Of course, Rory McIlroy can win a U.S. Open, ending his decade-long major drought. Scotty Scheffler can win his second of the season. Xander Schauffele can win his second of the season. Both of those guys would be an elite company, winning 2 in 1 year. But then there's also guys like Bryson DeChambeau, who can definitely win this from the Live Golf Tour. Brooks Koepka, who always plays amazing in majors. Dustin Johnson always plays amazing in majors. And then you have guys that like Victor Hovland, like Ludwig Oberg, like Sahith Theegala, who are looking for their first majors of their career, and they definitely can get it done here at U.S. Open. It's going to be a very difficult golf course, and for the guys that were complaining about how low of the scores that the winning cards were for, or how high of the scores of the winning cards were for the PGA Championship, they're going to love this one, because it does definitely look like it's going to be a very difficult golf course. We're going to, of course, preview the golf course on Thursday. I'm excited to do so, as Pinehurst is one of the more beautiful golf courses in the world, and one of the ones that guys always look forward to. Of course, it's hosted the U.S. Open before, as the U.S. Open goes through cycles, and I'm excited to see the history of it, who's won there, who it favors. But I'll do a deep dive on that on Thursday. But as for this podcast, I think we'll end it there, talking about the U.S. Open. I'm so excited for the third major of the year. Of course, when we're talking about majors, it is always a chance for guys to cement their name in history, as this is what we talk about when we're comparing legacies in golf, is the majors. It is the most important thing in golf. So that'll wrap it up for this Tuesday GSMC Golf Podcast, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Thank you all for your support. It means a lot to us. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like and subscribe on YouTube if you're watching it, or rate it on any of your favorite podcasting networks or sites, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever you guys are listening on. Any comment or review really does mean a lot. If you guys want to follow us on more than just YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we also have TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Really, whatever you're looking for on social media, the GSMC Sports Network will be there. So thank you all once again for your support, and all of you guys have a fantastic and wonderful evening.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of